All right, it's Coach's Corner, number 13, and I want to talk today a little bit about coaching evaluations. I know that's a touchy subject. People have a tendency to not want to be evaluated, but I want to tell you, you want to be evaluated by whoever does that for you, your athletic director or your principal or whoever. I think, first and foremost, you want to be evaluated so that you can grow. They're going to give you some constructive feedback, tell you what you're doing well, what you need to work on, give you some ideas for improvement, and you can utilize those to improve yourself. And I think we always need to be improving. I just heard a thing over the weekend that the performance of the group is directly reflective of the leader. And if you want to improve the performance of your team in your program, you need to improve yourself. And so coaching, being evaluated is a great way to do that. I do think it's important that you know ahead of time what it is you're being evaluated on, so you can kind of work towards the evaluation, and you can use the elements of the evaluation to drive your coaching. Because particularly if it's a well put together evaluation, it's going to touch on important topics that are important to being a successful and a productive coach. I also think it's great. The evaluation process can be a way for you to improve and build on your relationship with your athletic director. You're going to spend maybe a little bit of time before the season talking about kind of the direction you plan to go for the season. And then, obviously you'll communicate here and there throughout the season. And then that evaluation piece at the end, where you'll probably sit down and have a meeting and go over the written evaluation to talk about it. And as an athletic director, one of the things that I do is I try to have a meeting with the coaches before I do the evaluation, like after the season, to kind of get their feedback so I can incorporate their impressions of the season into the evaluation as well. Not everybody's going to do that, but that's one thing that we do that I think is good, both from the feedback part of it and also from the relationship part of it. A lack of evaluation I've seen in a lot of situations. The lack of evaluation, I think people think, well, I didn't get evaluated, things are good, and then all of a sudden a problem crops up, and all of a sudden the coach is in trouble. Having that evaluation, having that written feedback as a documentation for you as a coach should a problem arise, I think is really important. And if you don't have that to fall back on, one mistake or one crazy parent or one particular issue can really become a big deal for you. So make sure, really push your athletic director to do that evaluation. Now, it's also important that your assistant coaches get evaluated as well, and I think it's critical that you as the head coach do that evaluation of the assistant, or at least have some input. You're there with them every day at practice and in competitions and on bus rides, and you've got the best knowledge of what's going on with that assistant coach and what they do well and what they need to improve on. And I think you need to be doing that evaluation, or at least have input. And then again, use that assistant coach evaluation to steer their improvement. Point them in the direction where they need to go to take the next steps in their career, to build your program and to build them up as coaches. And then again, build that relationship. That's every interaction you have with your assistant coaches, anybody on your staff, I think is really important way to continue to build that relationship. And the last thing I would say is, through that evaluation process, get some feedback from the assistant coach about you, about the program, and about how the season went. Because I think that being open to that feedback, their boots on the ground in your program, that are seeing things from a little bit different perspective than what you are. And I think that's a critical bit of information that you can use to improve yourself and improve your program. So just some thoughts on evaluation. We're kind of mid-season for fall sports. So maybe put the bug in your ear with your your AD to make sure that process is getting done and set those meetings up for later in the after the season. So, all right, have a great week. Keep being that coach your kids need you to be.